I started working on that quite a while ago. It's been out in the market for like, I think maybe 12 years now. I'm trying to think when it came out. Yeah, 2008. And I started working on it in 2004. And the inspiration for that was, I think, two things. One, I wanted to make a cooperative game because I wanted a game that I could play with family, with my wife, and really enjoy. We had played Reiner Knizia's Lord of the Rings. If you played that co-op game, we played that, and it was just my eyes were open to how good a cooperative game could be. So I thought, oh, this would be fun. I want to make something like that. See if I can do it, because it sounded like a really big challenge trying to make a game that could face the players, all of them together, and still, provide a good challenge. And at the time, I think SARS had been in the news quite a bit in the previous years, and so that seemed like a good natural enemy for the game. All the players could get together and fight disease. So it was that those two kind of ideas came together. I pitched it in various forms from 2005 to 2007, and it just kept getting better and better. I pitched it to Days of Wonder in Los Altos, which is not far from where I live. And the founders there were really, really kind. We played a little bit of it. At the time, the players collectively ran 3 gray pawns that had no roles. That, you didn't have your own pawn. The game kind of worked, but it was it was missing something, and it seems in retrospect it seems obvious, to do that, but they're like, well, you might want to consider embodying the players as one of the pawns. And they're like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. So I went and pursued that path. I wasn't sure it was going to work because I hadn't tried it. And then if you go even back further, I originally ran the game off of 1 deck of cards, so it was the player deck and the infection deck. But it had 2 different discard piles. And when players played it, they continually made mistakes as to which discard pile to put the cards in. And so, yeah, I had to work through all that stuff. It took me 3 years to develop the game. But when it was done, I don't think I really changed anything other than I added 1 role after I got the game signed. So the dispatcher was the last one added, and also happens to be my favorite role. So that was kind of. Oh, I think you could just be really creative with it. You can see all sorts of different combinations to do. You can move this person over there, or I can fly this person there and then move them 1 and then fly myself over there. There's a lot of different fun combinations you can do with it. Oh gosh, that's a really good question. Maybe. So I designed the game with sort of a very, very high level understanding of how disease works, and my aim was to make a really engaging experience, right? Like an emotionally engaging story, make you feel like a hero and that sort of thing. It wasn't really based it's not a simulation. It's not really based on the science, right? I'm working on another game right now where I am basing it on the science, and that's really hard because you have to take both things, like combine them, all the modeling, and then all the challenges of making something really engaging and fun, and try to make those things work together. And that feels like it's 10 times harder. So if I were basing it in all the information everybody knows right now, would politics play a factor? Would the way the countries work together play a factor? Would, social distancing, all these different things. One card, which is like, there's like a government lockdown card, and there's other ones that we kind of anticipated. And I say we because Tom Lehman helped me quite a bit on the expansions. But we were all just kind of, so now it's actually interesting when certain things happen and we have something in the game for it, because when I designed it, this is all theoretical. I didn't imagine that I would be experiencing this. To me, it was always something that would happen maybe someday, somewhere, to someone else. And then I really do like the Iberia and Rome ones, Pandemic Iberia, that I designed with Jesus Torres Castro out of Spain. It was a joy to work on that with him. I met him in Spain and sent him an email down the road when we were going to set this pandemic tournament in Spain. Thought it would be great to do a pandemic version set there, and it's just a great collaboration. And I enjoyed playing that one because I feel like there's even more strategic avenues. You've got to build a rail network before you if you're going to be successful, you have to kind of plot that out. And I like Fall of Rome quite a bit as well, because I think the artwork's wonderful, and I just love the new ways that all the barbarian hordes come in and so on. Really enjoy making them. I mean, for me, it's making like a puzzle, trying to come up with a little computer program with just paper that can, work against the player. So I like the puzzly nature of it, trying to work something out that's novel and exciting and engaging. I find it easier to playtest them because I do a lot of playtesting with groups over video. So I watch them play the game and I just take notes and so on. And you can see everybody talking all the time, so you kind of know what's going on inside their head. It makes it easier to kind of understand their emotional state and what they're thinking about at any time. If you do that method when you're doing a competitive game, often you just see people just staring at the board. You have no idea because they're silent. They're like, imagine trying to play test chess, just two people looking at a board. It's there. That works pretty well. But that said, and I guess the third thing is that they have been popular and I enjoy working on them. So it's just natural to keep feeding them. So Pandemic's put out products every year, sometimes even more than one or two. So that keeps me pretty busy. I do like making competitive games as well. I've got the dice line that I mentioned and some other ones coming up as well. I think winning the Spiel des Jahres was a real big thing, the special prize.
Yeah.
Winning that was just sort of something I try not to think about because it seems like too crazy, too far off, too impossible. But then I got nominated a bunch of times and went to Berlin, I think 3 different times. And so when they gave the special prize to Rob and myself, that was really great because we just won. We didn't have to worry about the big reveal and so on. So that was very exciting. But yeah, I mean, it's also fun to meet a lot of people at the conventions and hear stories. Some of those stories can be really powerful, and you hear people, well-known people tell you that, pandemic brought them into the hobby or brought them closer to their spouse. That kind of thing is really, really something. My wife Donna has played just about everything that I've designed, and is generally the person I'm thinking of most of the time when I'm designing stuff. How it would go over with her. My daughter, my eldest, is very much into games and enjoys testing. My youngest gives lots of critical feedback, but I have not yet gotten her to try Pandemic. Believe it or not, friends, no problem. But yeah, I think it's because I designed it. I'm guessing maybe it's a Teenage Rebellion thing. I'm not sure. Well, I've got this little guy down here. I just grabbed him because he's right here. This is our little dog Finton. So this is our rescue from a couple years ago. It's my first dog ever. My daughter talked us into getting a dog, so we got him. So he's good for the cuteness factor. He was terrified when we got him originally. Really in rough shape, but now he's just the sweetest little guy ever. So he's been a big fun change, especially during lockdown, having him along.